Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Ripe for Reissue. And what's ripe for reissue right now is this box, the Olivier Messiaen Orchestral Works. It's an SWR production, SWR Classic, featuring Sylvain Cambreling and the SWR Symphony Orchestra, Baden-Baden und Freiburg. SWR SOBBUF for short. Now, this is an 8 CD set, and it's really splendid. It's probably the best Messiaen orchestral work box out there, and that includes, there were complete editions. There were things on like Eurato and EMI and like other stuff like that. They're really marvelously recorded and beautifully played, and Cambreling really gets Messiaen style. I reviewed this previously at ClassicsToday.com, so those of you who are curious, I suggest you go over and have a look at that review. But I was checking recently, and I saw it's not available. And this really pisses me off because the German radio organizations are enormous, and they are flush with cash. They say they're not, of course, because there was a directive that said they can't just piss away money endlessly based on, television taxes and all of the other, strong-arm tactics they use to fund themselves. And they're supposed to start earning money, which is why these productions existed in the first place. But if a state-run performing arts organization exists to do anything, it should be to create a catalog of top-rate cultural products and keep them available. The funny thing is that these people, they go and they operate just as badly as any major label does. And that makes no sense at all. They don't have to do it that way. There could be some actual thought going into doing it differently, to doing it better, to acknowledging their patrimony and their responsibility as state-owned, taxpayer-funded organizations, and behave accordingly. Well, they don't. I mean, are we surprised? Are we at all surprised? No, of course we're not. So let's just look and see what's in here. And then, if you could find, some of these are available separately. They came out originally as single discs, and then they all got boxed up, and they're still around. They're floating about. You might be able to get them or stream them or do something with them. But really, it's a beautiful, beautiful set. And I just was heartbroken to see that it's generally gone, at least in this country. Who knows what the rest of the situation is. What do you get here? So you get some early works. You get Les Offrandes Oubliées and a great performance of L'Ascension, the Ascension. Oh my goodness, it's marvelous. And then the Poème pour me, which I find virtually unlistenable. Not the music, the poems. Messiaen's setting of text was kind of, shall we say, an acquired taste. Very, very acquired. Anyway, there's that. Then we have, of course, the Tarantula Symphony, or the Taranglia Symphony. The Tarangalela Symphony, a really splendid performance of that at exactly 79 minutes and 43 seconds, which is just right. It's juicy and marvelous, wonderfully well recorded, passionate and intense, with some very slow tempos in the Garden of Love's Sleep and whatnot. But it's, it all works. He gets the spiritual effusions. They effuse. It's beautiful. Okay, then we get the Réveil des Oiseaux and Oiseaux Exotiques, the bird things, and Chronochromie, which is very avant-garde and difficult to take, but I think it's fascinating. I just love the sound of this stuff. It's so interesting, And then we have Et Expecto Resurrectione Mortuorum and La Transfiguration de Notre Seigneur Jésus-Christ, which is virtually unlistenable and textually intolerable. And this is really the best version of it. It really sounds just marvelous. I say those things somewhat facetiously because I love the music. I really do. I just love listening to it. And this is such an exciting performance. It's just really deep and powerful. And it's like one of those, sort of, Mayan, zaggarat tomb things. It just has this primal, it's avant-garde music, but it has this sort of primal quality to it that's just really, really great. Anyway, it's a wonderful performance. And then we have From the Canyons to the Stars, I think the best version of that is still Marius Constant, the original one on Erato, which just sounds incredible, but this is awfully good too. It's excellent. And let's see, La Vie d'en haut and Un sourire, a little smile, 10 minutes long. And finally, his last work, Eclairs and La-di-da. Yes, Eclairs sur l'au-delà, actually, it was called. I was at the premiere, oh boy, in New York. That was exciting. It really was under Zubin Mehta. It was quite marvelous, and it still sounds quite marvelous. It's a wonderful work in the style of Tarangalela. A wonderful and fitting end. The triple concerto thing, the triple concert, whatever the hell they called it, that's not in here. It was, it's posthumous, and it was sort of kind of completed by Yvonne Loriod and other people. So I don't miss it particularly. It's a strange, short, not entirely characteristic work, but that's okay. We don't have to get into that. This is a wonderful box. It deserves to exist. Let's hope it will exist again someday, and that SWR will start acting like something that matters rather than like a major label. Anyway, keep on listening, friends, and thank you for joining me. Take care.